LaFrance Sq project. Um, this YouTube video is just to kind of give a brief overview of our thought process when we were designing this to the blueprints that were provided to us. Kind of go over a few of the different little SKUs that might not be as well known. The TSVs, we'll go over that. We'll go over adding granite inches if you even want to do that. I'll give a little of my insight of what I think, where we should need it, where we shouldn't need it, that kind of thing. So like I said, just a brief overview, just to get out there, what our thoughts were while laying this out, just so that you'll have it while you're doing your review. All right, so getting started, this is type A. There's 14 units. The handing is it's a left-handed unit that has been drawn. That's what was drawn within the blueprint, so we just copied it. How you decipher left from right is if you're standing looking at the dishwasher. If the sink base cabinet is on the left, it is a left-handed unit. If it's on the right, it's a right-handed unit. Pretty simple there. Within this unit, let me get into the TSVs real quick. All right, so the TSVs will basically, it's a tall skin veneer, 24 inches wide by 96 inches tall. It will have to be trimmed to fit. And where it goes is, I don't know if you can see, but they're right here. There's a little 1/4 inch ear. This is the face frame of the cabinet. Then this is a little 1/4 inch ear. This is the end panel that actually dados into this face frame right here. If you don't have the skin, then you end up having this red line right here. You'd have to notch this so that you don't have a 1/4 inch gap right here. So what we've done is we've issued these panels so that it'll fill that gap, so you don't have any big gaps there that you'd have to fill with caulk or try to cut the countertop around. Then you end up having to make the countertop, bigger, so that it actually has this little enough material to be able to make this little notch here. So it was just an easy way to get this accomplished. Getting to the countertops, the only top that I see within this A unit type that would need extra inches is mainly this master bath. That's due to it being wall to wall. There's 14 units. We don't know how good these framers are going to be. If the wall pivots just a little bit, then I would safely say you would need to have at least a 3-inch extra inches added to that top. The other tops, you wouldn't need it. If you see right here, anytime that we have an in panel and an end panel, that encloses those tops. So obviously we wouldn't need extra inches here. You're going to get your movement out of basically this filler here, unless the unit grows. If it gets bigger than 157, you can leave this filler and then just make this filler fill out to the whatever this becomes when it gets larger. If this gets smaller, this is going to be your only way to cut this unit, this run down, would be this filler here. I would try not to go anything below 3 inches here to make sure you have enough room for this door of the refrigerator to swing properly. And the 3 inches is about what you need. Without having an extended wall all the way down, we don't truly need the full 4.5, because the reason you need the full 4.5 is so that you have the 3 inches for the door itself, and then you have 1.5 inches for the handle. That's the reason for the 4.5, and that's just to get the door to open to a true 90. That's basically it. Let's run through the top page real quick. So you can see we're going to have your legend here. We'll have your sink and faucet model number for each area that would accept the sink and faucet. We'll have the center line called out. The R2s, let's go through that. R2 is only, basically what they're doing is breaking the edge just so that it's not sharp. That's the only reason for the R2, is just so that it basically is not a danger that it's sharp. The R1s are a 1-inch radius. That gives a little bit nicer of a round radius to the ends. FE is finished end. Um, let's see what else we got. Splash is SPL. You'll see the splash is indicated by a double line where the splash is actually going to be located. We'll call out sink centers everywhere. Here we got the note. If you want to add inches anywhere, just let us know. We're going to hold it tight to exactly what blueprints say, but if you want to add inches, feel free, and then we'll revise and get it back. And that's basically it for the A type. So let's go to the next one. Okay, so the rest of these we're just going to kind of fly through since we got the majority of the information expressed to you on the first unit type. All right, so this is the B unit type. There's 9. It's the left. Within this project for the townhomes, the first few we had no elevations, so we're really going to need these sent off to either the architect or the owner's rep to be able to redline these. I just followed suit to Andrew Jackson's takeoff. He had 42s in, so I just said it was a 8 or a 9 foot ceiling with 42s, no crown. This one lays out just about like the A unit types, a little bit smaller, but the same gist overall. Oh, even on the A unit type, I don't think I mentioned this, but on the A unit type and this B unit type, I believe these are the only two, but they're going to have they won't have a knee wall behind it. It's just going to have a 1/4 inch back panel, and we'll add outside corner. On the A unit type, we did add batten because the overall wall length of that run was over 8 foot, so we had to have 2 panels. So we'll have the batten to cover the seam, outside corner to cover the raw edges on the outside of the island. Let's get into the countertops again. We have the warning. You can add inches anywhere you want. We held tight to blueprints. Again, this master bath area is the only one I would think that you're going to need added inches on. Little brief overview of this legend. So we'll have the B unit type. There's 9 total. It's left-handed drawn. I didn't have the blueprint, the full set of blueprints, so I'm not sure what the split is on your lefts and rights. Andrew Jackson should be able to get that, or at least give me the full blueprint set so I can figure that part out. We got a green outline, black outline. Green outline is the kitchen tops. That is your color code. The black outline is your vanity tops. It is white wave. So green represents kitchen. You can see how the outline is green. Black represents vanities. You can see how the outline is black. Here again, here's your sink and faucet. Sink and faucet, sink and faucet, sink and faucet for area called out. Center lines, all called out. That's basically it for the B unit type. Let's go on to the C unit type. All right, C unit type. This is we got a left hand drawn, very simple one wall kitchen. I did add a filler right here just to give this a little bit of room and to allow everything to operate properly right here. So your overall space for your range is going to be 31 inches because you're going to have a 30, I believe we got into. Oh, this is still a townhome, I believe. Yes, this is still a townhome. So with it being a townhome, we still ran with the 42s. We didn't have any elevation, so we will need to check that. So I've added the inch there, so that gives a little bit of a cushion within your range. I don't think you're going to need any added inches to this kitchen. This is going to be your flex point, will be this filler right at the fridge. That will move the whole run left or right. You can go down. You're not going to have much to go down. I would safely say you could go down about a ½ inch. So 135.5 is about as low as you want to go with your overall measurement sheetrock to sheetrock. Bathrooms, very simple. Countertops still have the warning up here. Again, change it however you want. We got 9. It's a C unit type, left drawn. We'll got the green and the black. Green, black, kitchen, vanity. Very simple. We don't want the R2 here. I know a lot of people like to call it out here. It's not needed. That's where the range goes. You really don't want it to be curved while it goes into the range. You want a nice, flat, tight surface there. Sink and faucet model numbers on both. Center lines on both. R2 called out here just so that it's not a dangerous edge. That's basically it for the C-type. All right. This is the D type. This one is a little unusual, and I would say that we would probably need extra inches within the kitchen. Let's go through it real quick, and then I'll get into the countertops. All right, it's D unit type. There's 50 of these, so this is I believe this is the largest quantity unit type that's out on site. Handings left, the left is drawn. We had no elevation, so we need to verify that. All your trim. Again, we're going to want, I would say we would need added inches here. And the only top in the kitchen that I feel that you would need added inches is the actual sink top. You can hold this tight and just keep the filler, 3 inches out of the corner. That's a full 27 before you start your cabinet run. And then just let it run out. This wall is open-ended. It just keeps going. So this right here, this top I would leave the same. No added inches needed. No added inches needed on this top. This is going to be the only top I would add inches on. Mainly it's wall to wall. You got this right here is a 42-inch knee wall that goes all the way to this point right here that you can see this little line right here. Then it starts your wall cabinet run, and you can see this fairly well on the elevation. You see how it notches, and then it starts the cabinet run, the wall cabinet run, pushing back from that point. That's why I say that from here to here, this measurement right here, I would say could change, and a lot of times this is what's moving. I left a little bit of movement availability here, and that's just in case this starts encroaching in on our full height wall space. So if you want that this is on the same plane here as you can see, so you want this cabinet here to always be completely centered over this cabinet. So however this needs to run, this needs to float with it. That's where you'll have this filler to adjust and this filler to adjust, and why I would suggest adding at least 3 inches to this sink top. And we'll just run through the elevations real quick. You see here's the range wall, open-ended. You can continue down if you need to or pull back, either way. Master bath, 2 cabinets, very simple. You could shrink this down all the way down to 56 inches and still have enough room. Now, if you get any bigger, that's where I'm saying you might need to add some extra inches on your countertop. The 4th floor guest bath. Real simple, nothing to it. Get into the countertops. Here again, we got our warning. It's drawn exactly to fit the blueprints that we were provided. Again, this is the top I would recommend adding inches to, not necessarily here or here or here, but here I would add inches to this one as well. And that's basically it for the D type. All right, this is the LaFrance Sq Micro type. So very straight run, open-ended bathroom. I don't see where you need any added inches on this top, really anywhere. The cabinetry fillers will allow you to. I know that you don't have an end panel here, but you'll have a 3-inch. This side could shrink down by 2 inches. This side could only shrink down by about a 1/2 inch comfortably. This side right here, I wouldn't allow this to grow. If this overall 201 starts to grow, this is where you're going to want to fill that space. You're going to want to use this filler because this will be a 6-inch fill. So you'll have 4.5 inches. So this unit could actually grow by 4.5 inches and be perfectly fine with the tops as they're drawn. If they get shorter, you can trim this one down and be good. And that's basically it for this one. Very simple unit type. All right, now we're getting into the apartment style. We're getting away from the townhomes now. So these units get pretty small. All right, so LaFrance Sq. This is Unit A instead of just Unit Type A. I'm not sure why they labeled it so closely, but they did. There's only 3 of them. Right hand's drawn. The elevations were very vague. I'm saying the ceiling's 96, just from pulling and seeing what the bathroom elevations were showing. But I'm not really sure. It does not say, and it does not show the ceiling line. So we need to verify really what the ceiling height is and if there's a fur down. It doesn't show any fur downs, but I would like to verify that. Scrolling on down. This one's very simple. Again, this is where if the unit gets bigger, this is where you're going to increase this filler to grow with the unit. So if the overall run gets bigger than 158, you're increasing this filler size so you don't have to cut any countertops. We'll leave the tops as they are, and this is going to be your flex point. Vanity, open-ended, very simple. No need to even talk about that. Again, if you want to add extra material, you can. Just let us know. Again, Unit A, there's 3 of them. And that's it. Okay, now we're getting into our first ADA unit type. This area right here, excuse me, this is the LaFrance Sq B1 Type A. There's 2 of them. The one that's drawn is a left-handed unit. We need to verify ceiling height and verify if there's a fur down. All right, so getting into this one, this area right here said movable island, but we really have no way to create a movable island. If they want to spec something, then we could go out and procure it. But as of right now, the way it's drawn is, excuse me, these 2 BT9s will be spaced with a 36-inch open area between them. with a countertop on top. Basically, that acts as the workspace for this handicap unit. The sink base here will be removable front. This cabinet here will be removable front. All base cabinets are going to be 32.5 inches tall. You can see that all the base cabinets have ADA called out in front of the actual cabinet SKU. That lets you know that that cabinet is a shorter height than standard. The depth's all the same. Everything else is the same on the ADA cabinets. Let's see. They're going to put the microwave in the plans. It was either here or here where they're going to have the countertop microwave. As you can see here on the elevation, they called out for a standard hood, so that's what we've put in there. Everything's pretty cut and dry. Again, really, there's no need for really any added inches anywhere on this. It's all open-ended, so there's really no need for any added countertop inches. And that's basically it on that one. All right, we are in Unit B2. Again, this is very similar to the one we just got done with, the ADA unit. Again, you don't need any added inches in this one. I feel we're pretty good. There's 4 of these, right hands drawn. Definitely need to verify the ceiling height and if there's a fur down. This one's pretty cut and dry. Nothing too crazy. Tops are good. We don't have to cut anything down. It's all open-ended. And that's it on this one. All right, we're in the C1 unit type for LaFrance Sq. And there's 4 of these. Left hand's drawn. This one does have an island with wing walls. So I wanted to bring this up. So whenever we're doing this, 2020 automatically does these walls at 4.5 inches. I know typically when you measure it rock to rock, it's about 5 inches. But so whenever we do this, if you look at the plans call for a inch overhang. So if these were 5 inches, then you would have the inch overhang, if that makes sense. I also gave you the wall thickness here along with the overhang that they've called out for. They want an 8-inch overhang on the back. Well, if this grows, then it might get to about 7.5, but we need to. I like having this called out just for variances, and it shows you how we came up with the overall top length. That's basically it for this one. Countertops. Note, if you want to add any inches, you can. I don't really see it being needed. You can cut down at least 2 to 3 inches on the overall width of this run. So this could get down really down to like 126 and you'd still be fine. Now it can grow, but it can only grow by about 1.5 inches. And that's, if it grows, you're going to add the 1.5 inches here. This is going to be a 6-inch fill, so that would get you out to full max of that fill. If it does grow to the 130.5 mark, gets any bigger than that, we could run into issues, but typically you shouldn't see that big of a variance within the unit on new construction. So here's the countertop, C1, green, outline, kitchen, black outline, vanity. 4, again, you're going to need the split And that's basically it. We got all, our R2's called out, R1's called out, sync centers. Oop, need to change that. That should have been an R2. And that's it. We're good to go on that one. Alright, now we're getting into the C2 unit type. This one's a little different. Here again, we're calling out the wall thickness along with the overhang, wall thickness, overhang. Really just want everyone to verify this to make sure that we're calling these walls out correctly and that we're going to capture the overhang that they've asked for. They only asked for an inch overhang, so I figure if this fulls out to a 5-inch with sheetrock, then we'll still be within their spec. 8-inch. This is the only wall really. If this is drawn out not as a 2x6, it's drawn out as a 2x4 wall. So need to verify that as well, because usually on your water walls they tend to be 2x6s so that they have enough room to run their drains and their supply lines through there. So we need to verify that, because if this gets into a 6-inch wall typically, or a 2x6 wall, then typically your overall wall length is about 7 inches thick after rock, which then obviously would cut down on this overhang here, which could be an issue. So really, let's look at the C2 and get some verification on this wall thickness if they're going to run that as a 2x6 or a 2x4 wall. That's basically it on this top. Not too much going on there. I wouldn't. This is one where I'm not sure if you should add extra inches or not. It would be, in my opinion, you really should, because it just depends on how good this framer is. If he's going to pull 110 and keep it 110. Well, to tell you the truth, there's only 2 unit types on this one, so I would say we could keep this. We just need to verify and make sure that we're keeping an eye on the framers before sheetrock hits. Just as a rule of thumb, get out there and pull some tape and make sure that they're holding true. So that way there's no variances within walls, as long as we got somebody pulling tape and making sure that everything is framing out correctly. This wall, you won't need any added inches here. Again, this could increase up to 31.5 to get you up to a 6-inch fill here, or it could shrink down by, I would say, you could take 1.5 inches off of here and be safe, and then you could take 1 inch off of here. So what is that? About 2.5 inches that you could take off of this 130 and still be good. With the tops that are there without any kind of added inches. Vanities, real simple. Get to the countertops. Again, I wouldn't. This is the only top that I might add inches to, but even then, with it only being 2 unit types, I'd probably just hold it tight and just make sure framing's holding tight in the field. I did put a splash here. The countertops going against the wall, I would assume that they would not be putting any kind of tile backsplash in this area, so I did add a 4-inch granite splash there. That's about it for this one. All right, we are in the D unit type. This one, again, we got the peninsula pulling off of this back wall. This is really the only top I would probably add extra inches to. No, I wouldn't. There's only one of these tops. So we just need to make sure we're pulling tape and making sure that the framers are staying within our allotted inches here. And that's basically it for this one. Here's the top page again, green, black. You can see all the R2s have been called out correctly. The range is right here. That's why there's none there. Fridge is right here. Panels are only 24. The tops are 25.5. That's why we put the R2s right there. This is an open end. That's why there's an R2. This is an open. This is an open end. So actually, I can tell I missed something. So put a R1 here. So we get a nice 1-inch radius on that end. Oh man, I missed a few things on this one. With this being a peninsula, I do want to add a splash here, especially with it being on a sink wall. Again here, very simple. D unit, there's only one. This is it. And that's basically it for this one. All right, here we have the Unit E type. So this one is a, let's see. Yeah, this one is a little unusual. Mainly, this is the only thing that really scares me. We need to at least have this 4.5 inches. And just so that everybody knows, when this door opens, it will hit this top. It's just the way this is designed, there's really no good way to keep it from hitting that top. So just a forewarning that is going to be an issue. Again, here we did the 4.5, shows you the thickness of the wall designed, the 8-inch overhang, which is what was called out for. 1.5 inch on our overhang here. No need for extra inches here. Coming on down. Alright, so this top I made all is in one. So you're going to get your flex from this point here. And hopefully it does not shrink. Now this is a BT9, so actually, if this wall shrinks, you will cut. If this wall shrinks at all, leave the 4.5 here. Cut your filler here to accommodate for this wall shrinking, and then you will have to cut and polish this edge. Hopefully you won't have to do that, but because with this being one top, this will be an easy install. And then this top here is one piece, and with having this top be one piece, then what it does is I would probably make this top flexible. I'd probably give 3 inches on here, just in case this starts moving around. Here again, never mind. Doesn't need any added inches. There's only one of these units. So we just need to make sure framer's on point, and then everything will work properly. Here's the countertops, just to kind of give you a view of what those look like. You can see this is all one piece. If there was a seam, it would have a line with a seam written out. Looks like we covered all our bases. Yep, splash. Yep, everything's good. We still have the warning here, so if you want to increase anything, by all means do it, and we'll get it turned right around and back to you. And that is it for the Unit E. Okay, we're in our final unit type. This is the F unit type, and this is also an 80A. Let's get into the floor plan. Here again, 4.5, 8-inch overhang, 1.5-inch overhang. I don't know why that one's calling out 3. It actually, we'll just leave it with the 1. They're 1.5-inch on both sides. Always going to be whatever the overhang is here, it will be here. It'll match. All right, getting into this. All right, so 176 is what it's calling on plans. You can increase this by 1.5 inches by leaving this a full 6. Now, if you want to decrease in size, you could take 1.5 inches off here, and that's about all I would take. This is 4.5. That's about minimum. This wall continues out, so I would like to have at least this 4.5, and then just use this as your flex on here. Yeah, that's about the only spot that you have to flex on. So you can cut this down. Now, if you get any bigger, obviously you go here and fill out, so that way this top doesn't have to be touched. It's only when it gets smaller that you'd end up cutting that top. Vanity, very simple, nothing really crazy there. There's only one of these units. With it being only one, here again, we don't really need to cut anything. We just need to really keep an eye on the framers and making sure that they're holding within our 176.5, or at least very close to it, within 1 inch, 2 tops, bigger or smaller. And that's basically it for the whole LaFrance Sq project. Look at the tops real quick on this one. Again, here you have your warning. Increase, decrease, however y'all want to do it. Right shown. That's basically it. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I do appreciate your time. Thank you.